What do you think? You think you can fix this problem? Woosung nodded, which made Hong Soo-bum flinch. Woosung's eyes sparked as he added. But I would like to get a slice of this company. Ha ha ha, you're so fierce. Hong Soo-bum filled his cup and replied. If you can really fix this problem, then I will give you some shares. We'll have to discuss on how much though. Woosung answered post-haste. MQTT. You can use the ultra-light pub/sup format message protocol. Hong Soo-bum frowned. MQTT? I've never heard of it. It was because MQTT was not available in the mainstream market yet. Really? Haha. Well, I know of it, and you need it. Now, let's talk about my shares. Jang Guangchul laughed again, but Hong Soo-bum remained stiff. MQTT, Message Queuing Telemetry Transport. It was first suggested by IBM in 1999. Later, Facebook used it for its messaging app. The two advantages of MQTT were its minimal battery and data usage, and mobile phones needed these advantages badly. It was a perfect solution. However, in 2008, it wasn't yet a popular technology, so it was not a surprise Hong Soo-bum didn't know about it yet. Woosung explained the system to him, who understood the concept right away. Even Jang Guangchul nodded as if he understood as well, which was a surprise to Woosung. Do you understand all of this? Woosung asked Jang Guangchul. Of course. I never invest in things I don't understand. Oh. I may be a daytime trader, but after the market closes, I study. That's why Soo-bum accepted my investment. Hong Soo-bum nodded. You're not quite there yet. Well, I'm not the developer, so I think I know enough. Jang Guangchul. He surprised Woosung, and it was a pleasant surprise. Woosung felt like he could trust him a bit more now. So what do you think about my solution? If you can achieve what you just described, it would be perfect for my project. Woosung knew the final decision was Jang Guangchul's. He turned to him and asked. So my share would be? Jang Guangchul looked at Hong Soo-bum for his opinion. If what Woosung said is true, then it will be crucial for our project. If he is not successful, then we will have to continue to look elsewhere or release an imperfect product. Did you hear him? He said crucial. Woosung quipped. Ha ha ha. Fine, 10%, no, I will give you 15%, but you need to come up with perfection, not some shabby product. 15% of coconut stocks. In 2018, coconut was worth $10 billion. 15% would be $1.5 billion. Haha, of course. Now as a shareholder, could I give you a suggestion? Woosung raised his glass. Let's name it Coconut. The chat app could be called Coconut Talk. Hong Soo-bum agreed. That's a great idea. Jang Guangchul had no objections either. Woosung felt excited to be the one naming this incredible product. However, Jang Guangchul gave Woosung a stern warning. But everything depends if you can deliver, Woosung. Remember that. Haha, of course. I understand. Woosung's eyes glinted. Wait for me, Choi Gichul. Sunday morning. Woosung woke up with a groan. I drank too much last night. He reached for the cup of warm honey water his mother left on the nightstand. Sitting up, he drank the whole thing. He could feel immediate relief right away. Phew, it's good to be young. 26 years old. Simple honey water could cure his hangover. Woosung thought about what had happened last night. $1.5 billion. He couldn't stop smiling. The only thing that worried him now was the amount of work he had to complete. Algorithm trading system and MQTT, so much to do. However, all of these hard work would all be worth it. He showered and sat down in front of his computer. He couldn't waste a single day. He wanted to become the best developer in the world. He put his hands on the keyboard. Let's get going. Woosung started his research. MQTT. MQTT release. MQTT source code. He tried searching as much about it as possible, but there wasn't much information available. MQTT was openly available in 2010 and became known worldwide in 2011 only after Facebook applied it to its messaging app. So I need to start from scratch. Any developer could do it, especially someone like him with 10 years of IT knowledge and experience. But how could I make it fast and perfect? Woosung thought carefully. He couldn't spend all his time on this one project. He had to finish the algorithm trading system by September. If he could find a reference code, things would go faster. Suddenly, Woosung remembered something. Apache ActiveMQ. Apache ActiveMQ. Like MQTT, Apache ActiveMQ was also in publish-subscribe format. Pub/sub for short, it was a messaging pattern where all subscribers would immediately receive any communication published. A similar system was used for both Android and iPhone. Not to mention, Apache ActiveMQ was available for free. Woosung found the appropriate code on the internet and started creating the MQTT program. Type. 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 The only sound in his room was his typing. Woosung told his parents not to disturb him until he came out of his room. He didn't want to lose his concentration. Buzz. Buzz. His cell phone vibrated but Woosung ignored it. After a few more hours, Woosung finally stretched his arms and stood up. Phew, I think I got a lot done. He checked his progress. It was only 3 p.m. and he completed about 30% of the work already. Things worked out faster than he expected. Apache ActiveMQ was a huge help, but most of all, Woosung's fury and determination were great motivators. Ouch, my back, I need to get a gym membership and start working out. Woosung's phone rang again. It was from Park Jong-yun. When he checked the call history, it looked like he missed 9 calls. It was from Park Jong-yun and Yoon Chan-jong. Suddenly, it started to ring again. Yoriam. Cha Yoriam. They were each other's first love. They dated only for 6 months, but it was unforgettable. Woosung dated a few more women after her, but he never felt the same way with anyone else. However, first love would never work out. It was time to let it go. They had good times, but they had painful times too. There was a reason why they broke up. He let the phone ring till it stopped, but it immediately started to ring once more. It was from Park Jong-yun again. Woosung knew how persistent he could be. As soon as he answered, Park Jong-yun yelled. Why didn't you answer my call? He continued quickly. You said yesterday that you'll buy us a meal at any time. So it's going to be tonight. Fine, fine. Woosung could hear Park Jong-yun talking to someone else nearby. He said okay. Then ask him to come here. Hurry up. Ask him. Do it. The group seemed to have come to an agreement. Park Jong-yun asked carefully. We are all together right now studying. Do you want to come where we are? You can give us some tips on how to study. Chan-jong wants to know too. You owe him one, remember? There is no way Chan-jong would say I owe him. You're making things up, aren't you? No way. Chan-jong's right here. Do you want to speak to him? Don't worry about it. Where are you? It was true Yoon Chan-jong helped Woosung a lot in the past. Woosung turned off his computer and left the room. His friends were somewhere near Gangnam Station. It was a Sunday afternoon and the streets were crowded. Woosung kept walking, trying to find where they are. I wish I had a smartphone now. Without GPS, it was not easy to find places. He kept looking around and tried to remember the directions Park Jong-yun gave. Around the corner of the supermarket, then to the end of the block. Finally, he found the place named Successful Studying. In front of the main door was Yang Young-suk smoking. Woosung didn't know his name, so he ignored and walked past him, but Yang Young-suk recognized Woosung and called him out. You. Me. Don't even think about getting back together with Yoriam. He was ridiculous. What's wrong with this guy? What? Yang Young-suk threw away his cigarette and replied. Don't make me say it again. Then he just walked upstairs to the study room like nothing happened. Woosung looked at him in disgust. What a psycho. Woosung followed quick and found 7 people in the room. Some looked familiar. Woosung walked towards Cha Yoriam on purpose. We meet again. I made a promise, so let's go out for dinner. I remember Yoriam likes steaks, so let's go to a hotel in Itaewon. I went to a buffet there and it was good. Cha Yoriam reddened. Oh, okay. Tap, tap. Woosung tapped her arm in a casual way. It seemed like a familiar gesture they would both often do, which made Yang Young-suk furious. Woosung didn't stop there though. He touched her ear. You have something on your ear. Both Yoriam and Young-suk reddened even more, but Woosung ignored them and greeted others around him. Then he turned to Yang Young-suk and whispered to him. Don't even think about asking Yoriam out, you crazy bastard. Grab. Yang Young-suk couldn't control his anger and grabbed Woosung. What did you just say? Hey, what's wrong with you? Young-suk. What are you doing? Some people tried to stop him, but Park Jong-yun and Yoon Chan-jong gave Yang Young-suk a look of pity instead. I barely studied when I went to school, but there is one thing I was always good at, Woosung said as he grabbed Yang Jung-suk's hands. It's sports. Ouch. Yang Young-suk moaned but Woosung didn't stop. He pulled Yang Jung-suk's hands away from him and squeezed. I trained so hard at the gym, people used to joke about how my brain must be made of pure muscles. Yang Young-suk couldn't hide his shock and embarrassment. He was sweating profusely. Woosung pushed Yang Young-suk away, making him fall on the floor. He looked at him and murmured. You better watch it. Everyone could see Woosung meant it as a real threat. The room turned silent until Park Jong-yun tried lifting the mood. Woosung, don't be like that. Let's go. Yoon Chan-jong added. Woosung. Woosung shrugged and replied. Okay, but I don't think it's a good idea to go for dinner tonight. Sorry. Woosung left the room, followed by Park Jong-yun, Yoon Chan-jong, and Cha Yoriam. You need to control your temper. Park Jong-yun said to Woosung. Patience is not always a virtue. Whatever. Instead of buying us dinner, buy us drinks. Drinks? Chan-jong, that's okay, right? How about you, Yoriam? Both nodded. Park Jong-yun continued right away. Then let's go. How about soju and pork belly? No one really cared about the dinner. What they really wanted to know was how Woosung became a successful developer. Woosung wasn't interested in spending time with his friends for today since he has a lot of things he had to finish, but he felt like he owed them. Pork belly. I can buy you steaks if you want. Wow. I knew you're rich. Steaks are expensive. Pork belly is just fine. When you become even more successful, you can buy us steaks then. Yoon Chan-jong replied cautiously. I don't mind buying you expensive dinner. His friends didn't know about Woosung's financial situation. They didn't know how much he made last night. Well, let's go. They ended up at a small pork belly eatery. Please get us 5 bottles of soju and 2 beers. Park Jong-yun ordered by the time they set foot on the store and asked Woosung. So your temper hasn't changed, but your skills certainly have. You need to explain yourself. Where should I begin? From the beginning. Let's drink first. Park Jong-yun filled everyone's glasses. After a few sips of beer, Woosung started to explain. He described how hard he studied during the winter break. He learned fast, and he developed a plugin for Visual Studio for his work. He ended up making it available for free online, and Microsoft contacted him and asked him to speak at the conference. Woosung also briefly explained how he met Jang Guangchul. It was an unbelievable story, but the three had no choice but to believe it. Park Jong-hyun finally asked. So you just did it? That's it? Ha, I guess that sums it up. I can't believe that you are actually a smart person. Park Jong-hyun murmured. Ha ha ha, at least smarter than you. Hey, hey. My GPA was 3.5, while yours was 3.0. But the joke's on you. I have a job, and you don't. Damn it. Park Jong-hyun finished his drink. Gosh, this tastes great. It was nice to chat with his friends. Woosung felt carefree for once after a long time. He couldn't believe he almost forgot all about these amazing people. After having more drinks, Park Jong-hyun asked. So the only thing left for you to do is to find a girlfriend. You have an awesome car, so there must be girls lining up to date you. Cha Yoriam was right there, but Park Jong-hyun asked anyway. Woosung glanced at her and answered. Not yet. I have so much to do right now. Really? What could be more important than your love life at the age of 26? Ha ha ha. You could never understand. As they bantered, Cha Yoriam glanced at Woosung. Their eyes met, but Woosung looked away. Yoon Chanjong noticed this and asked. By the way, you two are working together, right? Woosung works for Nuri Finances, and Yoriam too, right? Park Jong-hyun's eyes widened. Really? Yeah. Wow, it's like you guys are meant to be together. Good luck to you. You would be lucky to have Yoriam back. Park Jong-hyun said excitedly, but Woosung answered with a firm tone. That will never happen. It's not the right time anyway. Cha Yoriam flounced by striking the table with her glass. What do you mean not the right time? It should be either yes or no, but you always are so vague about everything. Woosung didn't like hearing this. One of the reasons why they broke up was because Woosung disliked Yoriam's nagging. Well, what about you? What about me? You are always so angry. You got annoyed at everything I did and said. When I asked you what was wrong, you wouldn't even answer me. You should have known. I never spoke to you in anger while we dated. In that 6 months, it was always you who got angry. Cha Yoriam couldn't answer him. Woosung looked at her with his cold eyes. Was I supposed to always take your anger? When I yelled at you that one time, do you remember what you said to me? Woosung knew that they could never get back together. He read somewhere that there was an 82% chance a couple would get back together, but only 3% chance it would work out long term. When Cha Yoriam couldn't answer, Woosung replied. You told me it was over. I was so patient for you, and at the end, it was you who wanted to end it. Cha Yoriam kept drinking. She was immature then, Woosung was too. Was it because they were so young? You are still such an idiot. Cha Yoriam said to Woosung as she stood up. Then she walked out. Park Jong-hyun looked at them in shock. On his way back home, Woosung felt relieved. He now knew that without a doubt, Yoriam and he could never get back together. They would fight and break up again anyway. Whatever he thought he might still feel for her was just him reminiscing. He remembered the bad times with her. The way she looked at him towards the end of their relationship. He knew she looked at him in a different light now than in his previous life. The only difference was that he was successful now. She was showing interest because he was a better developer and not because she genuinely loved him. He was done with her. He returned home and went back to working on MQTT where he worked until late into the night. The next morning. When he arrived at work, what Woosung saw made him feel gloomy. The desks were littered with empty frozen food dishes, pizza trays, and energy drink cans. Park Jun-woo, Kim Yong-gun, and Yoon Gi-won. They worked all weekend. Woosung remembered working this hard in his previous life. This was necessary to become successful, but it was such a hard road. Woosung asked, his voice quivering. What's this? Did you guys work all weekend? Yoon Gwon woke up from a nap and answered. Oh, you're here. Both Kim Yong-gun and Park Jun-woo woke up as well and greeted Woosung. Did you guys go home at all? Yoon Gwon put his hand on Woosung's shoulder and answered. Don't you remember telling us that if we can't show you what we can do, you won't keep us? So we're working hard. Woosung bit his lips as he wallowed in his own guilt. I told you to work hard, not non-stop. Woosung remembered how he used to work like this. It was such a hard time. Yoon Gwon tapped his shoulder and replied. If you aren't smart, you should work harder to make up for it. Woosung smiled bitterly. He used to say that all the time. Ha, ha. We don't want to embarrass you, so we're going to do our best. Kim Yong-gun agreed and added. That's right. Now, before the market opens, let's have a brief meeting about what we accomplished over the weekend. Woosung bit his lips again. He was ready to work. He wanted to work even harder so he doesn't disappoint these people. Park Jun-woo and Kim Yong-gun were first to explain. We finished all the test codes for the HTS over the weekend. They then turned on the computer screen. Scrolling down, they showed Woosung their work. We're still not as skilled as you are, but we tried to follow your format as much as possible. The first thing you need to see is. Before Park Jun-woo could finish his sentence, Woosung asked. Wait. Show me the 47th line again. Something's not right. Huh. When Park Jun-woo scrolled down to the 47th line, Woosung continued. Our HTS allows each user to pick multiple items of interest. This means it works in an array format. Park Jun-woo listened carefully. As Woosung continued, he realized his mistake. If you test it like this, it can only be applied to the situation if a user only picked one item. If multiple items of interest were selected, this test wouldn't work. I see. Kim Yong-gun groaned. Park Jun-woo became speechless while Woosung continued. Could you scroll down a bit more? Was there another mistake? Park Jun-woo moved his mouse with a shaking hand. Stop. Right here. Park Jun-woo and Kim Yong-gun stared at the line Woosung pointed. No matter how hard they looked, they couldn't figure out what the problem was. As you can see, business logic is being applied to the test code. Business logic. It was a part of the program that encoded the real-world business rules. For test codes, such logic should not be involved. Park Jun-woo tried to make an excuse. Well, it couldn't be helped. Woosung replied with a disappointed harshness. Then why bother making test codes? You didn't make them just for show, did you? An intense tension filled the room. Kim Yong-gun tried to explain. No, of course not. That part was to test the business logic, so I felt that even if it is included, it will still be an acceptable test. Then if the logic needs to be changed and applied, were you going to adjust both sides? Woosung countered without a hint of hesitation. Kim Yong-gun remained silent. Park Jun-woo's hands trembled harder than ever. Woosung continued. Please go on with your explanation. The market is going to open soon. It was now 8:20 a.m. Park Jun-woo was a nervous wreck by the time he finished. 3 p.m. After the market closed, it was Yoon Gwon's turn to show his work. A similar thing happened where Woosung questioned him several times. Woosung didn't just provide corrections. He gave thorough explanations about his reasonings and gave helpful suggestions. He was kind and thoughtful the whole time. All three felt embarrassed, but the information they gained was priceless. They accepted their submissive positions in earnesty. Day after day, all of them worked in the same pattern. Every morning, Woosung checked and corrected the works done the day before. As time passed, Yoon Gwon, Park Jun-woo, Kim Yong-gun became more knowledgeable and confident to a point where they could debate with Woosung. Then one day, Woosung murmured, "I think you are all competent enough now that you'll be able to survive outside Daesan." Woosung meant it as a compliment, but no one seemed happy to hear it. Kim Yong-gun looked at Woosung in annoyance. "Don't give us a half-assed compliment. Correct us. We feel better when you are teaching us." Well, there is nothing more for me." Park Jun-woo added. "You need to be hard on us. That's the only way for us to get better." Yoon Gwon agreed. "Be harsh." Knock, knock. The door opened and Kwak Jung-wook entered. "It's time for the monthly meeting. Friday 2:50 p.m. Let's get going. It's time for the meeting." Kwon Hyunjian stood up and told Nam Kyung-sang. However, he was busy typing. Kwon Hyunjian asked again. "Manager Nam, we need to go now." He still didn't answer. Kwon Hyunjian was usually a very patient man, but he started this behavior is starting to get in his nerves. He placed his hand on Nam Kyung-sang's shoulder. The man answered without turning around. "I'll be done soon. I'm going to finish this part and go." "What are you working on? Is it so important you're willing to miss the meeting?" "You don't need to know. I'm almost done." Nam Kyung-sang still talked without turning around. Kwon Hyunjian started to breathe roughly. "Manager Nam. Who is the PM here?" I need to know everything about this project. I understand that you are busy, but you can't behave like this." Nam Kyung-sang repeated himself. "I'm telling you, don't worry about it. I'm almost done." Almost. This wasn't Kwon Hyunjian's first day at work. He became suspicious. "Manager Nam. Did you make someone else do your work?" Silence. Silence meant Kwon Hyunjian was right. He reddened and yelled. "Manager Nam." Kwon Hyunjian has never raised his voice before. Everyone looked shocked. Nam Kyung-sang reddened in embarrassment. It's not like that." "Then what? Explain yourself." Kwon Hyunjian accused. Nam Kyung-sang became even more flustered. "I'm almost finished. Please, just let it go this once." He continued to type but his fingers trembled. I'll explain everything later." Nam Kyung-sang begged him. They have worked with each other for a long time, so Kwon Hyunjian couldn't ignore his plea. "Fine. Just hurry up. We'll talk after the meeting." Kwon Hyunjian left first. Nam Kyung-sang sighed and focused again on his screen. After a few minutes, he finished up his work and connected to an uploading screen. "Why is it so hard to upload a program?" he complained and continued to click. After the final step, Nam Kyung-sang ran to the conference room. On his screen, a pop-up showed up titled Nuri Finance's Enterprise DevOps System. Monthly Meeting. It was something every developer working for Nuri Finances feared. Project PMs especially hated this time. On the screen were the list of topics. Kwak Jung-wook began the meeting. "We will start with the issues for each system for this month." Daeyoung Systems PM was the first to speak. "We'll begin with Daeyoung System." The screen changed to the list of main projects Daeyoung was involved in. After his explanation, it was followed by similar presentations by PMs from ST, M3, and Daesan. Next was the point system result. Daeyoung System. Number of bugs, 11. Number of bugs fixed, 11. Number of new function suggestions, 7. ST Data System. Number of bugs, 25. Number of bugs fixed, 24. Number of new function suggestions, 13. M3 Soft. Number of bugs, 7. Number of bugs fixed, 6. Number of new function suggestions, 2. Daesan system. Number of bugs, 0. Number of bugs fixed, 0. Number of new function suggestions, 7. As you can see, Daesan was the only one with 0 bugs. ST had the most number of new function suggestions, but also had the most number of bugs. Daeyoung and M3 had similar numbers as last month. 0 bugs. Yoon Gyewan had to fight back his tears. He felt so proud. Now we'll go over the total reward and penalty points. The room fell silent again at Kwak Jungwook's announcement. Kwon Hyunjian rubbed his chin while Kwon Taejian frowned. The screen changed, and as Kwak Jungwook was about to continue, someone came into the room suddenly. Sorry. What's wrong? The transactions aren't going through. Kwak Jungwook asked the person hurriedly. What? Why? I don't know. The system maintenance team is looking into it right now. What the hell? Jo Young-suk rubbed his forehead and gritted his teeth. Everyone froze. Go check it out right now. At Jo Young-suk's order, PM started to leave the room. Yoon Gyewan also stood up. Why aren't you getting up? We need to go and help. But Woosung wasn't in a hurry. He smiled and answered. There is no need to go. We can check it right here using the DevOps system we created with M3. Yoon Gyewan clapped as he got this eureka moment. Oh yeah. Woosung raised his hand and announced. Manager Kwak, please connect to the DevOps system. Kwak Jungwook did as Woosung asked. http://devops.nuri.com. He typed his ID and PW quick. When he was logged in, he could see 4 areas of red on the screen. All of the recent applications uploaded to the server are causing the problem. Let me see. It looks like they are all from Saint. People who were about to leave stayed to watch. Jo Young-suk also stared at the screen. Manager Kwak, could I take over? Kwak Jungwook nodded as he gave Woosung the mouse. Woosung clicked a few times and explained. If you look here, there was a new version of a program uploaded today at 3:02 p.m. The problem started right after that. Kwak Jungwook asked in a panicked tone. See, can you fix it? Well, let's roll back to the previous version. Can I go ahead? Kwak Jungwook hesitated and turned to Jo Young-suk. Kwon Hyunjian interrupted suddenly. Wait, are you suggesting it's our server's problem? How can you just decide that without confirming everything? You can see it on the screen. Are you saying you can't trust what you see? Woosung answered post-haste. Nam Kyung-sang replied, his fury greater than ever. Of course we can't trust it. You didn't log into our server to confirm it, so how can you be sure that it's our problem? Woosung smirked. Do we really have the time to debate this right now? The only person who could make the decision was Jo Young-suk. He looked at Woosung and ordered. Do it. Woosung clicked the rollback button. The red lights turned to green right away as if nothing happened. Things are good now. You should call to check. Kwak Jungwook made a call, and after hanging up, informed Jo Young-suk. Everything's back to normal. The room became silent. A major problem was solved in less than 5 minutes. Manager Kwak, has there ever been a time when a major issue was fixed this quickly? Never, sir. Right? I can't believe it. Everything was back to normal, but many in the room became even tenser. Jo Young-suk murmured angrily. Now, it's time to figure out who's responsible for this shenanigan. He sounded like the Grim Reaper. Both Kwon Hyunjian and Nam Kyung-sang turned pale. Jo Young-suk screamed at the ST members. If you're going to be like this, just quit. Do you think this is a joke? Do you even have a brain? You better be thankful I'm not suing your asses. The room was filled with anger and fear. And I heard St did not accept Woosung's consultation. Kwon Hyunjian nodded in silence. There was nothing he could say that could make things better. All he could do was remain quiet. Manager Kwok, turn the screen on to the reward and penalty point totals. Daeyoung System Penalty 1. Reward 5. ST Data System Penalty 6. Reward 7. M3 Soft Penalty 5. Reward 9. Daesan System Penalty 0. Reward 10. Well, it looks like we have a clear result. Jo Young-suk scoffed with a sarcastic grin. Kwon Hyunjian finally opened his mouth. But sir, we still have some time until the deadline. Huh, really? There is still time? Jo Young-suk asked in a mocking voice. Kwon Hyunjian's eyes shuddered. Manager Kwok, turn on the DevOps screen again. Kwok Jung-wook did as he was told. If we didn't have this system, how long do you think it would have taken us to fix the problem? No one answered. Has there ever been a developer here who could come up with a system like this? The room remained silent. Everyone knew it was Woosung who created this new incredible program. Jo Young-suk turned to Kwok Jung-wook again. Manager Kwok, how many reward points do we give to a company that provides an excellent new function? 5 points. And as a general manager from the headquarters, what is the maximum number of points I can reward? Up to 5 points, sir. Then give Daesan 10 more points. Kwon Hyunjian paled. Nam Kyung-sang gasped in disbelief. Jo Young-suk continued. And how many penalty points do we give to a company that caused a major problem? 5 points again, and you can also add a maximum of 5 more points. Then ST gets 10 penalty points. Right away, sir. Jo Young-suk sneered and murmured. Do you still think you have the time to change the result? Kwon Hyunjian couldn't answer, but Nam Kyung-sang replied. Sir, I think you are being too emotional. As you saw, ST came up with the most number of new functions. Jo Young-suk sneered again. Really? Manager Kwok, open that file again. ST Data System. Number of bugs, 25. Number of bugs fixed, 24. Number of new function suggestions, 13. I see that you do have the many new functions, but what about the bugs? Risks are necessary to come up with great products. If we didn't even try, then we wouldn't have had bugs either. Jo Young-suk pointed at the screen. Daesan System. Number of bugs, 0. Number of bugs fixed, 0. Number of new function suggestions, 7. Do you see the numbers for Daesan? It was game over. Daesan had 7 new functions but no bugs. It was an obvious defeat by ST. Jo Young-suk slapped the table. You don't deserve to work here. I'm telling you that you are done. Get out. Do you understand what I'm saying? Nam Kyung-sang couldn't say a word. Why are you still here? I said get out. No one could help them. When Nam Kyung-sang left, Jo Young-suk smiled and announced. Now everyone, don't forget that Woosung from Daesan will be running a seminar on big data. Attendance is mandatory. He then stood up and gave Woosung a genuine smile. Huh, Woosung. Good job again. Everyone is excited about your seminar, so good luck. Woosung bowed. Of course. When Jo Young-suk left the room, people could finally breathe. Yoon Gi-won asked Woosung. How's it going with your seminar preparation? I heard the CEO himself and the chairman are all going to come. There isn't much to prepare. I just have to let them know what I know. Well, I guess you'll do great. I think we are getting close to the end of our project here. So you really plan to quit after this? Do you think it's really a good idea? Yes. Please make sure the headquarters understand. All right. By the way, when should I quit? Yoon Gye-won looked at Woosung, expecting a plethora of answers. You and the other team members can quit after the algorithm trading system is completed and I start making profits. Yoon Gye-won stood up. Okay. Let's get going. Woosung followed him. Na Jae-man. He was the CEO of Nuri Finances, which belonged to the Nuri Enterprise. Every Wednesday, various CEOs of Nuri Enterprises subsidiary companies gathered around to discuss their respective performances and how to improve them. He was a CEO, but he was still a salaryman. He still had to worry about his performance and feared the Wednesday meetings. Park Jae-won, who was the CEO of the company responsible for the credit card department, joked. Jae-man, you are becoming arrogant. Huh, you're funny. Your performance this quarter was amazing. You must be getting a huge incentive this quarter. If that's true, I'll buy you a drink. Huh, let's go somewhere fancy. Of course. Park Jae-won tapped Na Jae-man's shoulder. This is why I like you so much. While they talked, an announcement was made. The chairman is here. The room quieted down. Shin Yong-won, Nuri Enterprises chairman. At the age of 67, Shin Yong-won boasted of great health. He exercised regularly and took great care of himself. Next came Shin Yong-won's oldest son Shin Gung-gu and daughter Shin Semi. We will now begin the 16th meeting of Nuri Enterprise. Let's start with our chant. Finance is performance. All the attendants raised their fists and repeated. Finance is performance. Finance is performance. Finance is performance. After the routine chant, the meeting finally began. Shin Yong-won always insisted they began with his motto. Then, let's start with the performance report. The room filled with tension. Bank sector. 1% growth. Life insurance. No change from last month. Malpractice insurance. No change from last month. Every time each sector was announced, the respective CEOs reacted accordingly depending on the number. Finally, Nuri Finances' result was mentioned. Finances. 3% growth. Na Jae-man bit his lips and nodded while everyone else looked at him with a considerable amount of envy. This is the second month in a row Nuri Finances performed the best. Na Jae-man tried to hide his pleasure, but he couldn't stop giving a proud smile. Congratulations to Nuri Finances. Let's give him a round of applause. Everyone clapped. Some looked at Na Jae-man with defeated envy, while others glared at him with scorn. Shin Yong-won took the microphone and announced. It seems like the finance sector is the only one working hard nowadays. Thank you, sir. So big data. Is it because of that project? Currently, it's because of the new HTS system. Big data project will be applied soon as well. I see. Advisor Shin. Shin Semi was one of the advisors to the chairman. With her expensive bob, Shin Semi looked sharp and attractive. Her eyes shone like diamonds. She looked both alluring and intimidating. Sir. Her voice was sweet, a gorgeous woman of tremendous magnificence. So it's fintech. It's something you're interested in, right, Advisor Shin? Fintech. It was an IT-related technology in the financial service industry. Yes, sir. Soon, offline transactions will die out and everything will happen online. That is the direction we, Nuri Enterprise, need to follow. Yes, that. It seems like Nuri Finances is working on a related project, so perhaps you could get involved. I will look into it. And Director Shin. Shin Gung-gu was the director of Nuri Enterprise. He was a younger version of Shin Yong-won. He was charismatic but with an unapproachable look. Yes, Chairman. Don't get involved yet but keep an eye on it. Yes, sir. Let's go on to the next topic. After the meeting, Shin Semi approached Na Jae-man. Shin Semi was only 26 years old, but Na Jae-man still felt intimidated by her. He waited for her to lead the conversation. My performance was great this month, so why does she want to talk to me? I hope it's not to reprimand me for something stupid. Nail. That was Shin Semi's nickname. She was sharp and always found things others missed. Many feared her for this. Na Jae-man tried to think of anything he may have missed. Don't be nervous. I just wanted to ask you about the big data project. Oh, that. We are currently having a little issue with Daeng's report, so we are re-examining it. Re-examine? An outsource company working on our HTS system found a problem with the project. So there is a problem with Daeng's proposal? Yes. So we are rechecking everything. In fact, we are planned to have a seminar about it next week. Are you referring to the seminar by a company called Daesan? That's right. Daesan. Daesan. It doesn't sound familiar. It's a small company worth only about $5 million. It's not a company you would know. And you gave an important job to such a small company? Shin Semi asked abruptly. She accused, but Na Jae-man answered with confidence. Daesan is currently the leading company in the reward/penalty system you suggested. Daesan? Not Daeyoung. There is a man named Woosung Kang in Daesan whose nickname is Midas. He will be speaking at this seminar. Woosung Kang. Woosung Kang. We are hoping to poach him as soon as possible. Jo Young-suk wants to scout him. Yes, that's right. Shin Semi frowned. Soon after, their conversation ended, and Na Jae-man was finally free to leave. 1 a.m. Woosung was sitting in front of his computer at home. He was working on the seminar for tomorrow. His days at Daesan were now numbered. Before he left, he wanted to do a good job. He wanted to leave a good impression. To do this, he had to do well at the seminar. How could he relay his knowledge to the audience effectively? Woosung remembered Choi Gichul and his negotiation skills. He was an amazing speaker. Choi Gichul was born rich, but he didn't use any of his money when making his company Bitmain. He had many investors and gained enough money from them to create it. Many invested because they knew Choi Gichul was rich, but that wasn't the main reason. The most important reason was his communication skills. Woosung saw it many times. There was no one Choi Gichul couldn't convince. Woosung remembered Choi Gichul's advice. Get down to your audience's level. This was Woosung's main focus for the seminar. Most of the audience will be developers, but Woosung didn't plan to use technical languages. More important than the developers were the CEO and the chairman. He made sure his explanation could be understood by anyone. Woosung wore a black suit with a blue shirt. In front of the mirror, he looked manly and professional. Watching Woosung on the stage, Yoon Gi-won exclaimed. I guess clothes make the man. Kim Yong-gun agreed. He does look great today. Haha. He's doing an awesome presentation too. It's a great finale to his time here. Kim Yong-gun realized what Yoon Gi-won meant. Wait, is Woosung quitting? Hush. It's still not official yet, but it's going to happen soon. Then he's going to work for Jang Gwanchul. Yoon Gi-won shook his head. I'll tell you later. Let's focus on the seminar for now. Park Jun-woo kept glancing at Yoon Gi-won. He could tell something big was going to happen soon. The audience included many people from Daeyoung, including Cha Yoriam and Kim Jae-jin. Woosung. Cha Yoriam remembered the first time she met him. The university was having a sports day. Cha Yoriam was wearing a tight shirt and she could hear many guys whispering about her and catcalling her. Then suddenly, she heard Woosung yelling at them. Hey, just shut up. You guys are so noisy. You especially, Park Jong-yeon. They started dating soon after, but it only lasted for 6 months. That was 3 years ago. Unlike her expectation, Woosung was doing very well in the real world. In fact, he was now unreachable to her. This was already the second time he did a major presentation in his new life. Woosung spoke so confident it looked as if what he was doing was something natural for him. His point was simple, but unlike at the previous meeting with De Young's system where he used the algorithm equations and examples, he instead explained with simpler language. He was getting down to the level of the chairman who only had basic IT knowledge. Woosung's presentation was straightforward. It was quick, and he finished 10 minutes earlier than expected. Now, we'll have a Q&A period. No one raised their hand. Everyone had already heard of how it was impossible to win an argument against Woosung. SS was here, which made it a bad idea to stand out. SS was a nickname for Shin Semi. Woosung looked around and asked again. No questions. Woosung made eye contacts with Kwon Taejian and Nam Kyung-sang. Both flinched and looked away. Woosung thought of how he could embarrass them, but he changed his mind. His time here was coming to an end, and creating a scene was unnecessary and unwise. Woosung then announced in a slow tone. Well then, that will be the end of this seminar. Wait. Woosung saw a woman raise her hand. Her eyes were cold as ice. That must be SS. Kwak Jung-wook had already warned Woosung of her. The beloved daughter of Nuri Enterprises chairman. Shin Semi looked unapproachable, but her charismatic demeanor was no match for Woosung. He answered calmly. Sure. You are saying that accurate data needs to be selected based on the preset goal, followed by analysis. That's right. And you gave an example goal of increasing the number of customers. To achieve this, you suggested we need to use the data on the stock trading transactions to improve the HTS. What you didn't explain is how effective this scenario would be in real life. Woosung's answer was simple. Recent increase in the number of new users is due to the improvement on HTS. Woosung glanced at Kwak Jung-wook. Don't you agree, Manager Kwak? Kwak Jung-wook took the microphone. He was familiar with what Woosung was referring to as he checked the numbers every morning. To be exact, 67% of the new customers indicated that the improved HTS was the reason why they joined Nuri Finances. Woosung continued. Then the next question would be this. What does data analysis have to do with this? The answer can be provided by Oh Joo-hun. Manager Oh. The microphone was passed along till it reached Oh Joo-hun, who was sitting with his Daeyoung colleagues. His answer was exactly what Woosung expected. After the last meeting, Woosung and I have been working on the data analysis to improve the HTS. 67% is an accurate number. Oh Joo-hun. He belonged to Daeyoung but was not biased against Woosung. He recognized talent and had no problem working with an employee from a competing company. In fact, it was Oh Joo-hun who asked Woosung to collaborate. Shin Semi's eyes sparkled at Woosung's confident answer. She asked another question. Then do you have any other goals Nuri Finances should set other than increasing the number of users? We should know so that we can think ahead. Some people gave out a shard gasp. It was such a broad question that a newly hired employee would not be able to answer. It was very unexpected, but Shin Semi was a forward-thinking young woman. Woosung could guess her intention. She's testing me. By 2018, most major corporations had their own analysis department. If Woosung was correct, then this woman was testing him to see if she should hire him. The prospect of having a new job did not move Woosung's interest, but he also didn't want to appear hesitant. He also couldn't provide a direct answer that may change the future. After a quick pause, Woosung answered. I guess the first thing would be having a risk management. Shin Semi asked. What do you mean? Please explain. Think of what happened April last year. Subprime mortgage crisis occurred in April 2007. New Century Financial ended up filing for bankruptcy. The audience murmured but no one answered. In fact, some chairmen seemed unhappy about SS involvement. Shin Semi ignored the way others perceived her and answered with a sincerity. Rick Management and April 2007, are you referring to New Century Financial filing for bankruptcy? Woosung nodded and replied. That's correct. Now, you should be able to figure the rest out by yourself. I came here to talk about big data, not provide the future path for Nuri finances. Woosung exhaled and continued. However, if you still want to talk about it, please arrange a separate seminar. Remember though, I will be charging much more for something like that. Before Shin Semi could speak, Woosung got ready to leave. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you for your time. He bowed. Shin Semi had no choice but to seal her lips. Everyone else seemed baffled. The presentation was over, but all of those who attended was too overcome by either their emotions or the awe they felt after what they saw today that everyone forgot to clap. After a few seconds of awkwardness, Yoon Gwon murmured to Park Jun-woo. Hey, we should clap or something. Oh, yeah. They started to clap, and that was the end of the seminar. Immediately afterward, Kwak Jung-wook found him. Shin Semi asked for Woosung and they were to report to the CEO room right away. Why did she want to talk to him? It was obvious. Woosung read through their intentions right away. How should he handle this situation? Woosung decided after a long pause and looked at Kwak Jung-wook. Fine. Let's go. Woosung followed the grateful Kwak Jung-wook. This was already the second time he visited the CEO's office. Woosung opened the door. Kwak Jung-wook smiled awkwardly and waved indicating Woosung was to enter alone. Inside was Na Jae-man who stood up and greeted Woosung. Come on in. After a handshake, Woosung turned to find Shin Semi on the sofa. She remained seated, ignoring everything as she stared at him with a promiscuous feeling of loathsomeness. Na Jae-man smiled at him to grab Woosung's attention. Have a seat. What kind of tea would you like? Iced coffee please. The secretary brought in the drinks. Woosung took a sip as he noticed how Shin Semi remained having her gaze glued at him. Woosung didn't avoid her gaze. He looked right back at her while Na Jae-man realized he was sitting in an awkward position. He was sweating profusely. After 10 minutes of silence, Woosung finally asked. Did you call me up for a staring contest? For a new employee of a small company, you sure are confident. President Na, how many people have we hired from Daesan? A total of 15 people. Please cancel the contract with them tomorrow. Na Jae-man started to sweat even more. Shin Semi repeated. Do you understand me? Why, yes. Woosung didn't even blink, he was planning to quit anyway. Daesan's future was not of his concern. Woosung drank his coffee and stood up. Thank you for the coffee. Shin Semi's hands trembled gently. You better sit down right now. It sounds like I won't have a job by tomorrow, so why should I? Shin Semi gritted her teeth. Strangely, she looked even more attractive when she was angry. She replied with an obvious irritation. IT industry is a very small world. If you leave like this right now, you won't ever get a job in this field. To her threat, Woosung smiled. She couldn't be any blunter. That's fine. I guess I should go abroad then. I actually got a job offer from Microsoft anyway. Na Jae-man whispered to Shin Semi with haste after hearing what he said. He informed her of Woosung's recent presentation at the MS conference. This was enough for Shin Semi to make a definitive decision. 26 years old. A brand new graduate. She was trying to test Woosung's ability and she learned all she needed to know. What did Microsoft offer you? I will double their offer. Shin Semi now looked at him now with a newfound warmth. I am flattered, but I'm not interested. Shin Semi knew this game. She asked perceptively. Did you have something else in mind? There indeed was something Woosung wanted, but he didn't know as to how much he could reveal to those uninvolved. Woosung sensed it wasn't going to be an easy negotiation. When Woosung hesitated, Shin Semi intercepted his line of thought by continuing her proposal. Let's get going. Tell me what you want. I will consider it and let you know if it's possible. Are you saying you are willing to consider anything? Shin Semi nodded. Woosung was surprised at her willingness. Even if I ask something ridiculous? I think I know enough about you that you won't be unreasonable. Woosung smirked as he thought of how he should go on with her prosal. Give me a DMA line. Then, he paused but decided quickly. I will tell you how to make sure this company becomes ready for the future. So you think you can set the company on the right path, and DMA? You do realize what DMA is, right? Shin Semi's eyes widened at Woosung's request.